Happy Quest Day, Oswego. Welcome to The Real Deal, your source for spoiler-free movie reviews. I'm Brandon Macy.
I'm Connor Brennan.
And I'm Nathaniel Ahart.
Tonight we're reviewing Dumbo, a live-action remake of the 1941 Disney animated classic. We go from seeing an adorable 2D animated baby elephant to seeing a lesser adorable CGI baby elephant. Let's take a quick look at the trailer.
Welcome, baby Dumbo. We're all family here, no matter how small.
Imagine Dumbo was never made. It was never made, and someone in 2019 said, I want to make a movie about an elephant with giant ears that can fly.
I don't know, we're more accepting of odd concepts nowadays. If you look at some of the properties of Marvel Studios, or a lot of those concepts probably wouldn't have been done in the 80s, for instance, or the 40s, like Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy, even though those characters existed after the 40s, but still.
Putting Guardians of the Galaxy and all the Marvel films aside, what did you guys think about Dumbo?
It sucked.
Terrible. Terrible.
I know we're basically on the same page. I didn't hate it or anything, but man, this proves to me, because I think that so far Disney's been on a pretty good streak with their live-action remakes. The Jungle Book was way better than the original film, and Beauty and the Beast, while it was basically the same movie, I still really liked. And this one had the potential to be something much different, and it was. But it's just the way they went about it was so kind of contrived and lifeless, and it really fell flat.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how you could have made it that different from the original. The original is a pretty simple movie and short too. Maybe
it's only an hour long.
Yeah, an hour or a little more, but it's a good movie, but it's not one that's universally loved like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King.
No.
But the only obvious things I can think of is you take out the crows that are racist stereotypes, which they do, and of course you get rid of the whole happy animals in the circus attitude, which also hasn't aged well, especially knowing what we know now.
Yeah, circuses aren't really a thing anymore.
Well, they are, but
they're not as popular as they used to be.
But circuses with animals, they're getting phased out.
Yeah, I think they basically are phased out, right?
Well, they're still working on that, but, government bills and all that,
This might be the beginning of the end for Disney live-action remakes, because we see this one. We got Aladdin coming up with the Will Smith genie, The Lion King, which is basically just all CGI.
It's not even live action.
It's barely live action.
Probably just going to be the same movie as the original, from what the trailers show.
I don't know what to say. They got to stop remaking their old stuff.
They
just
should.
Let us go back to the classics. Needless to say, Dumbo had some significant differences with the original one. There were a lot of details that this film had to pay attention to in order to properly pull off this remake. We're about to talk about that in our review of the production design. So we have to talk about the elephant in the room, literally, Dumbo. He was made of CGI this time. This isn't a 2D animation. We see Dumbo as a CGI elephant. And what do you think? Does that look good to you?
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks fine, but my problem with it is, I don't think it's the fault of the design, but the design just doesn't seem to fit the type of world the movie is set in. I don't know, at times it seems like it's trying to be more grounded than the original with its human drama, and I guess, some of the, showbiz politics as well. That certainly wasn't a thing in the original, but I don't know, it just feels jarring, and this is like a remake of a film where storks literally deliver babies in sacks to their mothers.
In the original Dumbo, we saw storks literally deliver their babies, and they took that out of this one probably to make it more realistic, but honestly I don't think that was necessary, because I feel like this film is trying to make it seem too much like the real world. Like, it's like they can't decide what kind of film they're trying to make. Are they trying to be realistic? Are they trying to make it an all-out fantasy world?
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I feel like some of the other animals compared to like the elephants just feel like out of place.
Yeah,
you know, like the monkeys. It looked like it was from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I mean, we all saw that movie.
Oh, yeah, we did. So and of course, like the mice as well. Like
Yeah, Timothy the mouse is only in it for like 2 seconds. So don't expect them, folks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also if we're talking about animals, let's just point out the flying sequences, because of course there are several, but
Yes.
I don't know, the spectacle is taken out of them a lot because I don't know, the cinematography for them seems pretty stale at times, and also they all just follow the formula of oh, Dumbo, we need you to fly, believe in
it's
yourself
dull.
to fly, and then you know, fly, 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 fly.
It's a really dull
Fly,
movie.
fly, fly.
Fly,
And
fly,
that's-
fly. Honestly, I think the CGI makes the elephants look not so realistic. And I'm no fan of CGI, and this is why. It makes
Yeah.
them look... The CGI elephants, they don't look like natural elephants. And
Oh.
what's heartbreaking is that's probably the best that they could do, because if they tried to use a costume or anything else, they probably would have made it look worse.
Well, and you couldn't use real elephants anymore.
Yeah.
Especially because the message that they put forth in the film, which is good. It's
Yeah,
a pro-animal
good
message.
message,
And that's probably the best thing about the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Now, this film takes place in 1919. We get a little
Yep.
bit of exposition, which we didn't get in the original. Now, the original Dumbo came out in 1941, so they used the technology that was available to them at the time. You know, we got the standard railroad and the old-fashioned circus train, and we see that in this movie as well.
Yeah.
As like I said earlier, what kind of film are they trying to make here? Do we really need that kind of exposition? Does it really matter what time period this takes place in if they're trying to make this a fantasy film?
I think they
also-
set the period pretty well. I actually did like that opening montage.
It's 1919 in this
Yeah.
film. You know, Colin Farrell's character, you know, he comes back from the Great War. They call it the Great War at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, what message, like, the technology that we see in this film doesn't make sense.
No,
So that tells me,
not really.
So that tells me that this is supposed to be like a fantasy type of the world. Well, if that's the case, why are you taking out the storks? Why are you trying to make this seem like it's meant to be realistic?
I don't know, because like it's trying to accompany a more like a human drama. That's the best answer I can come up with.
Yeah, and it didn't need to be
And
that.
and also
It
can we
didn't need to be about the human main characters. They could
well,
have.
well, we'll discuss that later.
Yeah,
but,
and their performances of the actors were gonna
and the
have a lot to talk
screenplay.
about.
But can we just take a moment to say, like, the animation for its time looks better than this whole film did? Honestly, I think. Also, can we take a moment to say that for a Tim Burton film, this disappointingly doesn't look as quirky or out there as it could have been.
Sadly, Tim Burton is not in his prime anymore.
Oh,
No.
he's lost his touch, man.
No, like
He's
I
lost
don't
it.
know, the big amusement park in the second half looked as bland or similar to something in his Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake.
Oh, those
Oh my
puppets
God.
scared me,
Charlie and the
man.
Chocolate Factory.
And I don't know, like, I mean, with a Tim Burton film, like, there was always a sense of style to his films, like, even if they were good or bad.
He's
So,
kind of losing his touch in a way.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we are going to talk about the screenplay of this Dumbo remake. Don't go away. You're watching The Real Deal.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion. Learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
It's back and better than ever. One student can win up to $25 in cash. All on Oswego's favorite game show, Spin to Win! Every Sunday night at 9, only on WTOP 10 TV.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. We're critiquing Dumbo tonight. This remake added a lot of new plot lines and characters to the story. Did this rewrite work out? We're about to talk about that in our review of the screenplay. So one of the major things that this remake did was the addition of new human characters. We see Danny DeVito, we see Colin Farrell, and we see Colin Farrell's children, and they proved to be a very central part of the story.
Yeah, but
To its demise.
yeah, to its demise. Yeah, right, you are. But
Yes.
I don't know. The problem with, I mean, there's a whole variety of characters, so we'll go through them slowly. But I don't know, with the Colin Farrell character and the kids, like, it didn't impress me because I don't know. I felt like I'd seen these types of characters before, like you know, losing a parent during the war, like, or one of the parents comes back from the war traumatized, and of course you have the kids who have to deal with that, and they find someone else to connect with. Like, you know, it's something like kids like connecting with a certain creature, like in lieu of their parents. Like, it's something you see in like E.T. or
It's like
a
they were
lot
trying
of
to-
children's
E.T.'s
films.
a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like they were trying
Masterpiece.
to make something new out of something that already existed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we see a similar plot line to the original Dumbo. And it's a simple plot line.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, it is basically Dumbo trying to come up with an act that'll redeem himself and his mother. But with this, like, oh, the only thing they seem to fall back on to connect the children and Dumbo is like they're both separated. They both lose their mothers in some way. But didn't they already try to pull that off with the Beauty and the Beast remake? I just thought of it now.
And even in like, and I loved the Mary Poppins Returns, but even then it's Dead Mother, you know. Like, Disney loves this kind of thing, you know, this kind of plot point.
Yeah.
And to what you said about his trauma, like, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning of the film, there was like a scene where he wakes up and he was like, you know, it was kind of like referring to the trauma that he had in World War I, and it never comes back.
Can we talk about Michael Buffer real quick?
Yeah, then we'll get to the other main
For
human.
those who don't know who Michael Buffer is, he's the WWE announcer that goes, "Let's get ready to rumble." He makes a cameo in this film,
And he says,
"Let's get ready for Dumbo."
At least I laughed.
Why? Why did you put that in the film?
This film sucks.
yeah, anyway.
It wasn't even that good.
Now that we
No.
got that out of the way, let's talk about everyone. Let's talk about everyone else. Like Michael Keaton. I mean, he's basically a cartoon. Like, I mean, he's the predictable, you know, manager or something that wants to make a profit out of somebody. And Danny DeVito's a circus manager who doesn't get that much to do, but I think he probably has some of the best moments in the movie,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
best lines. But Eva Green is like a typical love interest, although
good, though.
she's the one who probably has the cutest relationship with Dumbo.
I'm not going to critique this film on trying to add something new to something that already exists, but I'm going to criticize them on the way they did it. You know, the story that they tried to rewrite here wasn't effective. It wasn't great. The writing was kind of sloppy, I should say.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
there's one thing that happens, like you think the movie's going in one direction, and it just plops something in, and it's just so kind of out of nowhere, and then it just goes into something totally different that doesn't really kind of, you know, it doesn't seem cohesive to me.
A lot of stuff, what they're trying to do, it seems kind of unoriginal. And Disney
Yeah.
is just... Disney remaking Disney films is...
Unoriginal.
It doesn't leave you a lot of opportunities to be original.
No,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, like, and of course we can just take a minute to like look at the fact that, hey, one thing they did right is they got rid of the original's more racist overtones.
Oh yeah, the crows.
Yeah. The
Thank goodness for that.
The fact that one of them was literally named Jim in the original, and
Yeah.
which
Disney back in the 40s was not very politically correct.
Well, actually,
nobody
even in the
40s.
70s, it was politically incorrect. I mean, in the Aristocats, there was a cat who was a Chinese stereotype, like speaking in broken English and having this really racist accent.
Okay, well, moving past that, don't go away. We are going to give our reviews of the performances of the actors, and it's going to be quite interesting. We'll be right back.
Oh, you.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
I'm a lot more confident and a lot more sure of my abilities.
At Oswego is where I really found myself and became the person I am. You work hard and you play hard. I love the environment of SUNY Oswego.
David Richey. I mean, they were. Do you think Bryce Harvey is Tommy John survivor? Nathan Evaldi.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. We're critiquing Dumbo this evening. The most famous actor in this movie is Danny DeVito. I think that tells you everything you need to know about this film.
Well, Michael Keaton and Colin Farrell are pretty famous.
And Eva Green as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't
This
seen
is our review of the performances of the actors. All right. So, Danny DeVito, he plays as the ringleader in the circus.
Master, yeah.
I thought his performance was good. I think he did a great job. I think he did probably one of the best out of this cast.
He brought the most life to it.
Yeah,
I will say that.
He had a lot of the best lines, the best moments. He had the most personality.
Eva Green was good too. Like I enjoyed her presence. Let's say.
Like even though she was a standard love interest, and I don't really see how she and Colin Farrell are supposed to connect. But
I think the strongest actors in this film were Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Alan Arkin, and Eva Green.
I don't think Michael Keaton was good because he was doing. I get like he was having fun.
He was overacting, but I will say I did enjoy a few of his moments. And can we just take a moment to say it's it's been a while since Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton have been on screen together in a Tim Burton movie. You know, Batman Returns.
Absolutely, where he eats the guy's ear.
No, he bites his nose.
His nose.
So, a little blast from the past. So it's good for them. And Colin Farrell is one of the stars in this film.
Yeah, he's good too.
No, I didn't like his performance. I thought he was bland.
He was kind of stale.
I mean, there was nothing special in the role. Like he's just another concerned father to his kids. That's I don't know. There was nothing there.
He's a major character in this film, but I feel like it felt like he was kind of unnecessary to the story in a sense.
Yeah, I think it was more the writing than him though. Well, like I thought he did an okay job.
Yeah, but it could have been better, let's just say.
Well, I think we can all agree on those kids that they put in the movie.
So these kids, The kids were played by Nico Parker and Finley Hobbins. These are the children of Colin Farrell's character. Connor, did you want to talk about Nico Parker? Because you were complaining about her the entire film.
Yeah. God, I don't know. This was her first big movie.
I think so. I think it's her breakthrough.
God,
I wouldn't call it breakthrough.
the whole time, she had the same blank expression even during a tense moment. And when she delivered her lines, it was so flat. And a lot of times a lot of her lines were just hammering home the film's messages to us. God, she took out the emotional resonance of nearly every scene. I mean, the boy Finley Hobbins wasn't as terrible, but he was just as bland. But seriously, kid, I'll be brutally honest when I say I think you're probably the worst child actor in the world.
Dude.
I'm serious.
No chill.
I'm serious.
All right, let's talk about someone much, much older than her, Alan Arkin. I was smiling with joy when I saw Alan Arkin.
I was like, he's in this movie?
Yeah, and he did a good job. I think he's a wonderful actor. His character was portrayed very well, and I enjoyed his performance.
I mean, it was small but amusing.
Small, but you know, when you see him, you get this sense of happiness. He's such a great actor and a great guy too.
Something about Alan Arkin I've noticed in a few of his movies, though. In a lot of some of his performances, he looks like he's spaced out sometimes. I don't know. I noticed this in Glengarry Glen Ross and maybe Grudge Match, which was awful, and. This movie a little, I don't know, maybe it's just a natural thing he does, or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the man's in his 80s. He's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
I wasn't thinking about age or anything.
I mean, I think it has something to do with experience and the amount of acting that he's done in his years. So I don't know if that's what you were going with or something.
Yeah, I guess, but. Possibly. I haven't seen that many movies with him, but still, I think he's a good actor.
All right. When we come back, we are going to give our final thoughts and our IMDb ratings inside the void. You're watching The Real Deal. We'll be right back.
Hey, President Stanley, what's your favorite television station?
I don't know. Hey, guys, what do you think?
My family and friends are always with me, no matter where I may be. Sharing stories from home helps me sustain my recovery from my mental and substance use disorder.
Hi, sweetheart.
Join the Voices for Recovery. Our families, our stories, our recovery.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well.
Visions from Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
It's back and better than ever. One student can win up to $25 in cash. All on Oswego's favorite game show,
Set to Win!
Every Sunday night at 9, only on WTOP 10 TV.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. We're just about to wrap up our review of Dumbo. Gentlemen, do you have anything else to say about Dumbo?
What is there to say?
Well, I don't know. The only other thing I could say is, I don't know. I haven't seen a Pauly Shore or Chris Farley movie before, but I'd rather watch one of those than have to see another movie with either of those child actors.
You really hate those child actors, don't you?
He really does.
Okay. Well, I guess the time has come for us to give our IMDb ratings and our final reviews inside the void. Nathaniel, you are up first.
Out of all the live-action Disney remakes, Dumbo is by far the worst. While it has good intention, the film's plot veers off in strange and unearned directions, and many of the characters feel dull and lifeless. With all that being said, Dumbo may prove that these live-action remakes aren't worth investing in. I give it 4 out of 10 stars.
I didn't expect much from Dumbo, considering the original was a short movie with a simply told story, but I certainly didn't expect a product that's bad even with its modern attitudes. There is no spectacle in the flying sequences, the human perspective is totally unnecessary, and it is probably the worst child actors ever on film. Somebody please fire their agents, make sure they never work in another film, then sue their parents, and if nobody does, I will. 4 out of 10 stars.
Some classics are better left untouched. Dumbo 2019 is nothing more than a hollow shell filled with nostalgia. Despite having several big-name actors and a charismatic director, this movie felt very forgettable and even a bit cringy at times. While it is more progressive, it just isn't as good as the original. 4 stars. That's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow the show on Twitter at @TheRealDealWTOP, and we will see you next week for our review of Shazam! I think this movie is gonna suck.
Oh, come on.
Come on, no.
It looks so silly.
Okay,
Come
look,
on.
I hate DC like so much. You don't even understand. But this movie, I'm going to tell you, one of my most anticipated movies of the year.
Okay.
I think they're bringing something different to the table. I think it's going to be good.
We'll see.
Mark my words.
All right. Have a good night, folks.
Pretty good today, pretty good. You know, I thought he called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call. Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.